Hello everybody, welcome to Your Capital What's Up. I'm Chuck Wiger, your area state senator. Thank you very much for watching. Today we're going to visit with Michael Berndt from Century College. He is the Vice President for Academic Affairs, focusing on career and technical education opportunities with liberal arts education. It's a great responsibility and we welcome you to our show.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Well, Michael, tell us what your job entails.
Sure. So I oversee all of the academic programs, and that we have about 120 different degrees, certificates.
120 selections.
Right, right.
Okay.
And many of those are laddered opportunities within a particular program area. So a student might want to come in, and certificates can range from 4 credits to maybe 30 credits, and it gets them ready for employment.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. It's prep for employment.
Right.
Perhaps some examples where there might be just several credits to where it might be a significant amount.
Sure. Well, you might come in and if you take one course in nursing assistant, you can go out and get a job in that field. Now, if students they want to go out and get immediate employment, it's often entry-level positions.
Yes.
And so that might be great for somebody starting out. But if they wanted to continue, if they wanted to go on and actually get their degree in nursing, this can be a nice step.
Or a ladder, as you call it. But they come in, they get their assessment, go to the counseling office, and they'll see where they're at, and then you can get advised on a career path. And certificate, you get that certificate, take a couple courses, it's on the resume job.
Absolutely. One of the neat things we're doing at Century is as students come in, having 120 programs is great, but it's also a challenge for students because there are so many opportunities that they sometimes struggle where there's almost too many choices. So we've been implementing a pathways model, which many of the leading institutions across the nation are starting to explore, and that's where we cluster like programs. So if you're interested in human services or health sciences, we encourage the students to enter that pathway, and then they explore in a more concentrated way what opportunities are in those fields. So it's a good way to kind of focus students early on and limit maybe the choices around whatever they're interested. They can move pathways, but the idea is to help create a more structured experience.
How does that process work? And perhaps one of our viewers would be interested or knows of someone, and that could be very likely given the high number of students that are involved in the program. But how does that work if you're watching now and you want to check it out?
Well, if you're a student, your first place you'll go is to the website.
Okay.
And that's really where you'd find the information for admissions. We have a number of open houses. I think we have one coming up on the 16th of February. It's an opportunity to come in, meet with counselors and advisors, and get some sense of what opportunities are there. But we also have career and tech nights where the faculty will be in their space. Students can come, they can talk to the faculty, they can get a sense of what opportunities are there. And that's really where I think they get the most insight into.
And that's regardless of age? Or background. So if you're 17 or 18, trying to figure out, or in your 60s or later, I've read of some great, career changes even beyond in the 60s.
Yes. Well, I was just participating in our EMS, or Emergency Services program advisory board meeting, and they were talking about how many retirees are coming back to get their EMT.
Yes.
And so it really is, all different ages.
Yeah, and tell us about that, how it would work for the emergency medical tech.
Right.
And why might that be occurring?
Well, I think one is as people get older, they still are vital and want to have opportunities. Yes. And community colleges are great because you have such a wide variety of ages, and so you don't feel like you're an anomaly among the student body. And we really try to provide a range of day and evening courses and online.
You do,
yes. To try to cater to those different lives.
It is so
schedules,
so friendly to different schedules, or if you're still working another job or balancing other interests.
Sure. Good example would be our ITT program. We have for a lot of those courses at night because the students start the program, but they get hired away. Yes. And then oftentimes their employer will pay for them to continue the program, but they can only have evenings open, and so that's when we offer the courses.
Okay. Now, 120 or so different certificates, and you talk to the prospective student or student, try to narrow what might you want to create a win-win.
Right.
And but maybe there's some remediation you got to brush up on, language skills or math or something else. do you have programs that will help
Yes.
to remediate?
Absolutely. In fact, we're doing more. There's a lot of work trying to redesign our developmental education offerings so that students can get through them more quickly and into the college level courses. We have an exciting partnership with White Bear Lake Schools.
Good.
Where we're trying to offer our higher level developmental courses in the high school so that those students, when they complete those, they are at that college level and they don't have to come in and take the AccuPlacer.
Okay.
They've
Acuplacer
demonstrated-
is a test to
Right.
see how you're doing academically.
Right.
So
Kind of a
it-
skills assessment in
Yeah.
reading and math and writing. Yeah.
Okay. And if a student, prospective student, they can go out to the school, I don't think you charge if you take the Acuplacer, or is there a small charge?
No, I think it's just part of the admissions process.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just to review where you're at and to create a win-win situation for that path you might be involved in.
Right, and students, many of them are taking the ACT in the high school, and so we'll
Yes.
accept ACT scores as well for placement.
Right.
So they may not have to take the AccuPlacer. Yeah.
Good. And with all of the different career possibilities, you want to make sure there ultimately might be a job, a
Absolutely.
path of hope.
Absolutely.
So you work with employers.
Yes.
And you mentioned before that employers, sometimes they'll help pay for that education and then hire them and
Yeah,
continue it.
it's tough because we want them to complete their degree.
Yes.
Because they may not be employed at that place forever.
Yes.
But at the same time, if they have a job opportunity, we want them to grab it.
Yeah.
So it's a hard balance sometimes too. We want them to complete,
Yeah.
but we also want them to get employed.
Do you identify some of the areas where there's just a lot of jobs that just aren't being filled right now, and where
Sure.
you're really trying to rev up the educational
Sure.
program offering, working with employers?
Sure.
So
We have-
help wanted, we need in areas. What would be some of those?
Well, certainly in manufacturing.
Okay.
Now, we don't offer as much in your traditional manufacturing on the credit side, but on non-credit, you can get certified to go into kind of an entry level in manufacturing.
Right, you'll get that certificate in
Right,
manufacturing,
right.
and you'll focus, the employer say, this is what we need,
Yes.
and get that certificate at Century, we might even pay for it, and then you got a job.
Yep.
It's very likely it's a living wage job with benefits.
Yeah, many of the entry level, they're paying $20 or more per hour.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a good starting salary for students.
For
coming in.
start, and
Yeah.
then you can continue up that ladder.
Absolutely. Yeah, welding is another one. We're going to be offering this fall a basic certificate in welding, so students will be exposed to a variety of different welding technologies, and that is also kind of a high demand right now in a number of
Welding, I've gone in different parts of the state where you'll see signing bonuses
absolutely.
to be a
Yeah,
welder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to anticipate a growing need in manufacturing around additive manufacturing, so 3D printing. You see that popping up in schools all over and in industry, but they need technicians, people who know how to work at the machines and how to do design work.
Okay.
And so we have a new degree coming out that's connected to our brand new Fab Lab,
Yes.
where we'll be able to train people to fill those jobs that we anticipate to grow.
We're so impressed with the Fab Lab, with the
it's beautiful.
faculty,
Yeah.
just everyone that's put that together. And I know how closely you work with area businesses on
Yes.
that. And I've heard there's sometimes multiple offers for students
Yeah.
if they've completed this program.
Absolutely.
As to where they might want to work, and they need more.
Yeah. Well, each of our career and technical programs has an advisory board made up of students and faculty and industry representatives, and that's really where we learn where
Yes.
the needs are and where we might have to modify our curriculum to make sure that we're meeting the needs of industry. Yeah.
Good. Well, we work on this, at the legislative level, of course, in terms of trying to provide sufficient resources. The Fab Lab would be an example where,
You're such a friend of the college. You really are.
well, each of my 5 kids, they've gone through part of their education journey, and
Yeah.
in fact, I have one nephew that's a psychiatrist now,
Oh,
who
fantastic.
went and got an EMT.
Yeah.
Certificate there as a part of that journey as well, and so I'm very aware of the success stories that Century makes happen. And if a person has, the attitude, the grit, and wants to get involved, you want to try to make that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, legislature will be reviewing, as we always do, a number of additional requests for programs, expansion, Fab Lab, for example, and it's all with the intent of providing additional job opportunities that are not being met. It's a win-win situation.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think that's something we're always mindful of in our career and technical areas, because the industry and the technologies of each of those areas, they continue to evolve and grow, and so we've got to keep up if we're going to provide the state-of-the-art training.
Good. Further comments you'd like to share about the program and that our viewers might want to know?
I was attracted to Century because of its reputation for how much it cares for students, and it really has. In the year and a half that I've been there, it's been manifested in so many ways. Faculty and staff really go out of their way to support students, and that is, I drive an hour every day to get to work, and I love it.
Tell us about your journey to entering education, and we'll start, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Hutchinson, so
Okay.
I'm Minnesota
Hutchinson
born and
Tech.
raised. Yeah, well, my dad actually taught there.
Okay.
He was in the non-destructive testing program. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
big, 3M, spin off there.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. So I grew up in Hutchinson, and then I went to the University of Minnesota. Did graduate work in English.
As a student, what was the area that you mostly focused on?
English and philosophy.
Okay.
But it was, and this is why I think one of the things that's a strength for Century is we're also preparing through the liberal arts students to go
Yes.
out into career and technical fields.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the things that our industry partners tell us is they need those communication skills, those problem solving, the critical thinking, the ability to work effectively in groups.
Team, absolutely.
Yeah, and we really do a nice job in the liberal arts to prepare students with those skills. And that I found I was able to translate those. And so went into teaching.
Where'd you teach?
I taught at University of Minnesota for a few years, and then I was
Subjects?
English.
English.
And then
Okay.
I was hired as a faculty member at Normandale for about 7 years. There,
Okay.
moved into research and planning, and then eventually I was the vice president of planning and institutional effectiveness.
Okay.
But what I really missed was this opportunity to work directly with programs, and so this was why I really wanted to come to Century and work in academic affairs.
Well, we're pleased that it's working. And in terms of hobbies, in addition to all the work responsibilities and committees and things that you,
This is
what
a
do you
big
do?
job, so I don't have much time for much else. I love to run.
Okay.
And I have 2 children, and I love to do things with them. My son Reed does basketball. My daughter Paige does dance, and so that keeps me pretty busy as well.
Well, wonderful. Looking ahead over the next 10 years, what changes do you see evolving in the whole area of career technical education?
Sure. I think we're going to continue to see deeper and deeper partnerships with industry. I think, just around equipment, being able to keep up with changes in industry is going to drive us to work more and more with our industry partners, because they have the resources and they can provide the technologies and the equipment that will keep us state of the art. I also see a number of opportunities to better connect some of our programs.
Yes.
So that a student interested in applied design, they could go into some of our visual communication technologies like web design. They could go into digital manufacturing. They could go into ECAD. They could go into art. I mean, there's just so many things they could do. Interior design, kitchen and bath. We've got a number of programs that all are around this core of design. And so I think if we can do more to help students take these general interests and explore possible careers, so I think we're going to get more and more savvy about how we do that with students. Yeah.
What additional partnering, expansion might there be with our high schools in accomplishing this,
right.
and the workforce centers?
Sure, we're doing a lot in fact, we have a position that we just hired dedicated to those high school partnerships. I think we recognize that students really need to start preparing early on, middle school and high school, starting to think about what pathways they might want to explore, giving them opportunities to earn college credit. We know from a lot of the research that students who are coming into post-secondary who have some college credit under their belt are much more likely to succeed. Gives them that confidence, I can do this, and it also helps them, I think, even with registration. They come in with a higher number of credits, and they can get a little bit earlier into the registration process and get a better selection of courses. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the relationship with the 916, the intermediate school, with technical school, which is in part at the East Campus
Yep.
of Century. Talk about that partnership as that continues.
Their principal is brand new principal is absolutely wonderful and a delight to work with, and we've been talking more about even doing joint marketing efforts, because I think they want to attract students to the career and technical opportunities. We want them to feed into our programs.
Yes.
It helps provide stability for our programs, and it also helps, I think, build a relationship because they're right there.
Yes.
So it's a fantastic opportunity to give students that pathway into post-secondary, even while they're early on in high school. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Michael Berndt, thank you so much for your service, for being a part of the Century team, for the success and the growth of the program. If viewers would like to learn more about the program, we invite them to contact you or the program. Any concluding words for our viewers?
Well, I think one of the things, we're a community college and a technical college, and we're embedded in the communities. And so, if we can, the more we can embed ourselves in the community, I think the more we can understand what the needs are and serve. So we always invite the public to come to learn more, to get involved. We have lots of volunteer opportunities. We really are there to serve the community.
Okay. Michael Berndt, you, your staff team, all the others involved, congratulations, continued success to you.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, check out Century. If you haven't already, learn more, pass it on to others. If you have a question of me, please give me a call. My cell phone is 651-770-0283, or you can give me an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. With Michael Berndt from Century College, I'm Chuck Wiger. Thank you very much for watching.